Haribol, namaste, sweet souls. Happy Thanksgiving weekend here in Canada. The light is certainly much weaker and less strong, and the days are getting much shorter. The nights are getting longer quickly. I notice how late it is already in the morning to just see the first light of the day. But the light does come with great certainty. It's so amazing how this universe works under the direction of the Supreme Being and his agents, and how everything runs so meticulously well, despite the feeling of randomness and chaos sometimes that we see in the human world and especially the modern world. But there's a timelessness to everything. And I'm going to do a series actually based on one of my friends, Carolina Velasquez. She's a friend from Mexico City. We'll be visiting soon and do some videos there and some meditation classes, and hopefully in Mexico City. But I just wanted to say she asked me to say a prayer for her cat, Kiki, Haribo Kiki, who apparently has gone missing, has disappeared, and is not coming home. And I can so relate. I've had many pets come and go in my life, and I know how dear pets can be in our lives. They sometimes give us some of that certainty that we're looking for, and yet they can be a cause of great distress and anxiety as well. Of course, the more we attached we become to other living entities, who are not often don't stay with us. Nothing does in this world. No one does in this material world. So I think there's a lot here to cover when it comes to home, where is home, and how to get home, and how to deal with the constant coming and going of living entities, ourselves included. We're all leaving, coming, arriving, staying for some time, producing byproducts, dwindling, and then disappearing. So this really hits home. This is a very good example for not a lecture, but obviously, I really truly hope that Kiki does come back to you, Carolina. There's no guarantee, though. So this tough medicine to hear. But of course, I pray for her, the living entity's well-being, and hope that she can come back in a human form of life, and then really take that vehicle, that human form, very seriously, because it is the form, the life form that is really suited to developing our natural God consciousness or Krishna consciousness, and um, in an understanding what's our eternal essence, position, and function. Where can we find real happiness, and how do we really take care of the living entities that are in our circle of influence and our circle of life every day, so that when they do leave, we feel like we know that we've been able to truly help them, the living entity. So these are topics I think that I can cover this week. And if anyone else has any pets that they're deeply concerned about, I'm going to show and just pass on an incredible technique of using transcendental sound vibrations, sacred yoga sounds, mantras, to the beauty of sound, and especially transcendental sound, not from this material world, but that descends into this material world. The beauty and power of transcendental sound vibration uh, is that it's not limited to affecting just you and your body and your mind, and helping you, the living entity, to go home and to find real, lasting happiness and peace, even amidst the comings and goings of this world. Is that it really impacts every living entity around you. And wherever we are, there's just trillions and billions, gazillions of life forms everywhere, from the smallest to the highest. And every living entity can benefit from sharing this transcendental sound vibration. Yeah, so this is why hearing and repeating and remembering any of God's beautiful names, particularly out loud, and obviously it's not always safe and appropriate to chant God's names out loud and around certain places where there's a great deal of violence, and even though that's the best place to really get the vibration out there, but we have to be, prudent. Um, but in our day to day life, this is a really great opportunity to have a deep, lasting impact on the living entities that are in our care. We are the servant species, so we want to steward and shepherd and care for all life forms around us. And I sure know just how easy it is to get attached to a furry little body that purrs and rubs its against your leg, and the cats and dogs in our lives. And for those that are around farm animals also. And this is a good chance to remember St. Francis, who was known as the patron saint of animals, and who, had deep affection for even the elements like a fire or the moon and stars and sun. So on this day, we hope that Kiki, the cat of Carolina, we hope that you either return to Carolina in her care, or if you're not able to, then I hope that you can actually go home, really, to the eternal spiritual kingdom, for which we are always anxious to return home to, and to which we're hankering. And this feeling of just wanting to go home is very strong in all of us. So let's explore this week, and let me cover more topics on how to help your pets and how to help yourself, and how to realize that wherever there's life, there's a living entity, a person there, and how wonderful it can be to affect them, so that when they do leave their bodies, I had cats two that have been hit by cars and had to leave their bodies, and I know how that feels. So we'll do a little series this week. Haribol and Namaste, Gauranga,